Hello and welcome to Mouse House Plus. This is episode number 9 of season 1. I'm Hank,
And I'm John.
and we're your hosts. John, are you ready to talk about this season 1 finale of What If?
I sure am.
Outstanding. Let's get into it then.
Okay.
We join Peggy Carter giving us the Captain America intro with, remember, it was what was it, Lillian from accounting? Now it's Bernard in accounting.
Yeah, from the Winter Soldier.
Yes. So I love that intro. And then I thought you were more than just a shield. That matchup with the Leaper. Oh man, were you excited?
Well, and I mean, it's just interesting because I mean, it's almost like a blow by blow, and getting the Leaper back, yet again. Also, again, getting Crossbones, in the background there. So we had at least got to see him for a hot moment.
Good call out. I kind of forgot about Crossbones, even though I saw him in the episode. I kind of forgot about him again. He's easy to forget for me. Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry. Me and Wanda. But the Watcher is just standing there watching, intervening. They're like, "What's that?" That was so freaking funny. Did you like it?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely thought it was one of those moments where you're gonna be like, "What's that?" And then he turns around and hits her, not actually thinking there was something behind him. But yeah, that was good. I think it gets even better the more people we grab.
And then we have T'Challa smoking Ego and saves the alternate Star-Lord. Did you like that one?
Yeah, I liked it primarily because it got a chance to wrap up something that you wanted wrapped up.
Yeah, I wanted to wrap up in the episode. It don't count for that episode.
Yeah, but remember I said you're like, they're gonna, how can they just leave it like that? Well, here you go. They had one episode to wrap up all the episodes.
Yeah, they needed to desperately. And you have been chosen, T'Challa. And then Tony is talking to Gamora, but the Watcher shows up and chooses her, but not Tony. Can you finally admit that I am correct? That this has been an absolute assault on Tony Stark. He either A, always dies in the episode, or B, this time just doesn't get chosen.
Well, yeah. I mean, in this case, Kenny actually survived this go round, but no, you're right. But I mean, do you want to dive into what this whole thing is right here, right now, or do you want to do it towards the end?
Yeah, where those two went to Sakaar.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we already like pondered this a while ago because we're like 9 episodes didn't seem right, and we come to find out there was originally supposed to be 10 episodes. This is the 10th episode that we're missing, where Tony Stark at the end of Avengers, when he flies through that wormhole to deliver the nuke, doesn't come back through the wormhole, but instead, as the wormhole's closing, it drops him in Sakaar. And we actually had a Lego set that was released with the Sakaar Hulkbuster, I think is what they called it. And, then we had no word of this whatsoever. So not every single thing is fished out for the whole episode, but more or less he ends up Sakaar. So then he's got to do all the battling like he did before. He builds himself a suit. He was at one point in time runs into Gamora. Gamora kills off Thanos and destroys the Infinity Stones. And that's basically where we end up right here, with her finally destroying the gauntlet itself.
Loved her outfit too, by the way.
Yeah, I like that that Thanos throw out there. It really does pay off on her.
Yes. Looks, she wore it better.
But that when the Watcher turns to him, he's like, "Not you, Stark." It just keeps on talking to her. I'm like, "Oh, this is great." What such a dog? You just dogged him right from the get go.
Yeah, and it makes my idea that there's some kind of, a bad separation, bad divorce or something. It makes that more plausible.
Nah, I don't. I just think this is more of a comic relief because in this case, like Tony Stark has been one of the pinnacle points of the entire Marvel series, all the way up to the end of Phase 3. Like he was the star. In this case, he just doesn't survive any of them. So I mean, I think that I don't think there's anything at like, bad blood in regards to doing that. I just think it's just one of those, they're just trying to do a play off of, hey, we couldn't kill him off this entire time to the very end, but look at this. Now, he just dies every episode.
I disagree, but we'll move on. Eric Stevens, aka Killmonger, you have been chosen. As Shuri and Pepper Potts were gunning for him with those gigantic guns, they were going to kill him. I was like, he is so fortunate to have somewhere to go.
And I feel that afterwards, it's not like the Watcher is going to show back in that world and be like, hey, he's in prison in a worse scenario that you guys could ever think of. So don't worry about him anymore. Instead, now they're going to be like, oh, where is he? And they'll just spend the rest of their lives looking for him.
Right. That is true. Now, Thor has been beating Ultron bots and not paying attention to the Watcher. So the Watcher just picks him up and he starts screaming. I'm like, here comes Thor, comic relief again.
Yeah, he has a date. Come on. He was going to do his hair, get some flowers. But that's great. When he's just going, and the next scene, he's still yelling in the bar. Like, Chris Hemsworth probably, I know all these people had to have a ball doing these. And I really hope that they release some outtakes of everyone, because his Thor was ridiculous in the first place. And having him, basically doing this yelling part, it was perfect.
It was great. Dark Doctor Strange, is there beer? and it's the never ending glass again of the beer, which is always a winner with Thor.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to notice that Peggy Carter's her uniform colors were fashioned off of the same outfit that Captain America wore in the Winter Soldier, with the grays and whites?
I did not pay attention to that. No,
yeah. There's no red in it at all, and it's dark blue, but it's gray and white, like how Captain America had that like real subtle like uniform.
Okay.
So that was another callback to the Winter Soldier. But yeah, the meeting of the minds in there, and then Thor turns around and he's like, I'm just gonna leave. And he's like, nah, you don't want to do that.
That was awesome to see where they were kind of in some pocket dimension.
No, they were like, from what the description that I read is that they were in between time. So I don't whatever that means. But the interesting parts here is like, he opens up that door. You see the spells on the outside of this room holding this room together. Like, they at least had the mindset to leave that kind of detail in there.
And then this is when the Watcher was telling them they're the perfect combination of skills and experience. I was like, okay, sounds like a job interview almost. And you guys will be the guardians of the multiverse. I was like, can we stop? Can we stop with the titles and the team names? Can that be over with?
You know what? I don't know. I got nothing. I mean, they just did it. And I was like, okay, let's keep moving, keep going.
John and I are the protectors of the podcast. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm spitballing here. All right. Now they get filled in on the Infinity Stones as well. And then Killmonger is surprised when T'Challa says he's stolen more for less. I love that meeting, because he's like, wait a minute. The one in mine was a goody two shoes, and this one is a thief and stuff. It was just kind of startling for him.
Well, there's also another thing too here is where he gets the Ultron head and he's actually like examining it, because he's the one that from his universe had like the fascination with like the kill robots, and here he's seeing a kill robot, but not something that he designed. And also like the entire like ploy that they kind of like the Watcher kind of oversaw, like he knew what was kind of going to happen with all this, really does fit in there by choosing these specific characters. But yeah, so far, when they do the examination where they're explaining the Infinity Stones, where Doctor Strange does a bloop, and there's the 3 rings and then the Infinity Stones kind of appear. That is the exact same way that Wu showed the Infinity Stones to who was it? I guess it was in the Infinity War. Didn't he do it in that? I can't remember where he did that from. Whatever movie he did that where he would basically explain the Infinity Stones, that it's the whatever Doctor Strange did was mirrored exactly how it is in the show itself.
Interesting. Nice. Like it. I do love that Thor wanted Chinese as a little bit of a, humor break again.
Oh, and then they cost out of like, they're your people. You picked them. And he's like, I picked them.
Gamora has the Infinity Crusher, which was, a cool little thing. But
MacGuffin.
we're gonna get back to that because I have some complaints.
So the MacGuffin, you mean it's the episode's MacGuffin?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Dark Doctor Strange is having trouble keeping his inhabitants in when he talks to Peggy about Captain Steve Rogers. I was like, "Ooh, man, he is. How long can he hold that form? Or is it just something that's just gonna sprout up every once in a while?"
I think it's going to sprout out every once in a while. I mean, it's kind of like he has concentration on it, but like if your concentration slip, I mean, when his concentration slips, things start to happen. Keep in mind, him being a sorcerer like he is, and I mean, shoot, it's even in like the games I play. Like, you got to have have to have concentration. You can be doing things and still thinking about said concentration, but sometimes you let your guard down, and then either the spell ends, or in this case, his body wigs out.
Outstanding wig out moment. All right. Gamora asked Thor if he trusts Killmonger, and he's like, "I trust everyone." I was like, "Gosh." He can be funny without just being absolute brain dead, in my opinion.
Yeah, but see, in this case, this actually sounded like normal Thor. Why would Thor would trust everyone? Why would he have a reason not to trust them? They haven't done anything bad so far, as far as he's seen. Everyone is chill.
Everyone's equal.
And we've just shared a drink together.
And Doctor Strange's speech is awful. And that's when Thor starts, being Thor, and he gets Ultron's attention. I'm like, what on earth? What is wrong with this dude, man?
Well, hey, he did warn them. He warned them that he does a very good job of attracting unwanted attention.
Almost on cue.
Honestly, it's like, I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, this, I feel like I should have been saying this for most of my life.
Doctor Strange casts a protection spell for everyone, and they even kind of, goes along with their outfits, which was cool.
Yeah, each one was different. Did you notice that? Like each one, like the armor was in some cases like Thor's actually had like an Asgardian like build to it. Like I noticed that one. I was trying to catch everybody else's, but
Peggy's was like the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
like
that whole moment happens like real fast.
Yep.
So it's hard to try and pin that down. I have to go back and like pause it and look at everything. Wonder if someone's got it online. I'll look it up while you're talking.
And then Thor goes off script, but it doesn't work. He's an idiot in this episode. So the fight is on as T'Challa pulls old Sticky Fingers and gets a stone. Now, you've been hiding that the entire time.
Oh yeah, when he pulls out the dragons. Yeah, that's good.
That was outstanding. So T'Challa was able to steal the Soul Stone. Did you think that was believable that that's the stone he was able to get?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know why they were targeting that one and picking that one the entire time. That's the only thing I don't understand. Because I mean, I don't know, because he was right-handed, so they decided if he was going to attack from the right, he could slip his arm or right. That's the only thing I could think of, and why they didn't talk about the power stones all the way on the other side, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
But yeah, I don't know why that specifically, but the snatch and grab part, yes, I can believe that because it's the stones are holding themselves in place. If you try to pull one out, it's going to come out. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing that ever says that those things have to stay there. But yeah, I mean, it was great. Like first time watch through, I was like, nah, I didn't catch that. Second time watch through, I'm like, no, how about that? They even edited with the stone missing. They didn't miss a beat here. Good job.
I thought it was really intelligent of Doctor Strange to unleash zombies and zombie Scarlet Witch. That was pretty cool.
Well, this would be the editors wrapping up every single episode into this last one, because we have characters from everybody, every episode we've seen so far, except for 5, which would be the zombie one. Now we do.
And then Ultron should have just led with this. He destroys the entire. Oh, he did try to destroy the entire planet, though, didn't he? Or that's coming up.
No, I don't think he has it right there. Like I mean, he doesn't give Scarlet Witch a second chance to try and do anything to him. He's just like, nah, I'm done.
All right, now we have the Black Widow appearance, and Ultron is battling for the Soul Stone. And it looked like when I first watched it, this is don't laugh too hard at this. When I first watched it, it looked like Doctor Strange consumed the Soul Stone.
Oh, when they did the big blast, and he kind of yeah.
He in fact took the energy that Ultron was going to use to blow up that entire planet, and he just gobbled it down. I was like, "What the world?" I had to watch it twice to get it. I was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, that was
I
fun."
mean, and I feel that with that nice boost right there, like, you know, he would have had one heck of a comeback. Oh, we forgot to throw out the whenever they're battling and Thor threw his hammer and then he cast the many spell on it, just like how whenever he was fighting Thanos, he cast the many spell on himself and then came out and did the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. So
Right.
it's the exact same thing, except with all the Mjolnirs flying around, which was great. Sorry, I digress. Continue.
He uses the time stone like Thanos should have. I was like, "There you go. Somebody gets it." And then Doctor Strange uses his inner monsters to
Hold on. Nah. Doctor Strange uses his time stone to break through that time stone and then releases the monsters, which, by the way, I'm sitting there screaming the entire time. Why isn't he he's doing it. Yeah, thank you. Because like that's it. I was like, well, wait a second. He's gonna stop time. He still technically has a time stone, right? There shouldn't be anything that's stopping him. And yeah, I love that reveal, like shink, and it opens up, and the Ialogmoto opens up, and he's just like, "That's I could do this stuff too."
And that's when we get the MacGuffin. The Stone Crusher is trying to do its job. But here's my problem. Now the stones are unique to each universe.
Yeah, I know, and that's what they're saying, and which goes against everything I was saying before. I don't know how different they could be from trying to destroy them in one universe versus another one. Wait. Here's my issue. What? I don't understand how it's powered. You put the stone, you put the Mind Stone inside it, and that's powering it, but it destroys it too. And then it's got legs and it's walking around. I don't get that. I'm like, I feel that you need to remove them and shove it in the paper shredder, not have the paper shredder go chase the person down. Because if that's the case, why didn't it go grind his face because of the stone in his forehead? Because that's what I would have gone for. And then again, you see this little like count of all the stones that it's grinding up, but the the Soul Stone is in there too, but the Soul Stone is powering it. So so that's the other thing I don't get, is because, okay, if you destroyed the Soul Stone by putting it in there to power it, then you would have seen that it didn't destroy that one and known that the other ones wouldn't have been destroyed either, unless it destroyed it last. In that case, you still would have found out. So
it's almost like a little kid telling you his dream when they do this, because it's like the writers are the little kid and they're like, the stones, they don't work in different universes, but they do work in this universe. And, you know, you can use them over here, but you can't, you know, they can't be destroyed by this thing because it's from a different universe, but they still could work. And it's like,
yeah, they need to. Okay, so I had gone back and I've done some researching after last week's episode. And from what I found, it says that the Infinity Stones do not work in other realities. So I am wrong about that. No idea what they're going on with this. Because you're right. Because how is he running around using all the stones And I have no idea, because hypothetically then he shouldn't be as powerful in every single universe. It should be, what? Oh, there you go. Where's my star, man?
Hey, you're gonna get a gold star. It's almost like having all those infinity stones. It takes a while to get to it. Here we go.
Yeah, but then you got to take the star away, because I last week said that it worked everywhere. So
I yeah, revel in your moment. Revel in your moment.
So,
Almost
but this is the issue, is that this was the MacGuffin of the story, and we get it introduced by going plump and just plops on the counter, and you're supposed to be like, okay, so that's a thing, apparently. So I really do think that one of these other episodes probably didn't need to be there. This feels like it was a little bit more important, considering that it's the thing that's supposed to destroy the Infinity Stones.
yeah.
Now I can see them saying, hey, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the Infinity Crusher, figure it out for yourself. But I mean, and also the Watcher introduces Gamora as killer of Thanos, so we'd have to have seen that as well. So it's like, I don't know. What was you read it? What was the reason why they can only do 9 episodes this season?
The same excuse everybody's using for everything.
COVID,
Pandemic.
Oh, I mean, this was, yeah, they're probably going to take this one and show it in season 2, because it's not like they can't go back for a flashback for something like that. Or maybe if they release this on Blu-ray, it'll be an add-on to the Blu-ray. But it's ridiculous that clearly we're using a key character and a key device from an episode that we didn't show.
Apparently, allegedly, don't quote me on this. This is what I heard, is that episode is going to either be seen in its entirety next season, or it is going to be seen in some capacity next season.
I mean, you could always just release it as a special beforehand.
Right, it's kind of after the fact. I mean, you're on a streaming service. You shouldn't even be bound anymore by seasons and stuff. But we'll make that for another argument for another day. Ultron unleashes the power of the Infinity Stones, and Black Widow has the virus arrow. Nice shot. And then it had that little Intel. Remember that little Intel commercial? Arnim Zola inside.
Yeah, I do like the meeting of the minds there with that. He's like, you destroyed Hydra, and I guess that means I destroy you.
But I think the most ill-timed thing of the episode is when Black Widow proclaims, I gave him a virus, a nasty one.
Well, I mean, nobody else knew anything about that arrow, so she was the only one. So I don't know. I don't have anything here, but I got stuff we're rolling up to. Which, by the way, I feel that you do have to realize that if you wanted Zola to take out Ultron, that Zola was going to try and do the same stuff. Why would you not think that? But anyway,
it's ridiculous.
Go ahead, continue on.
So now Killmonger has the stones. Well, most of them.
How did this happen? Is it just because he has a vibranium suit, the other vibranium particles come to him? What does holding that Ultron bot head do? That none of that made any sense.
No, it did not.
And then he has the suit all together, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Mr. Bad A," but he doesn't have the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone's still in Vision.
Exactly, and he's walking around like you said. He's walking around like he's got all of them.
Yeah, so it clearly shows it whenever they come out. So regardless, they're playing tug of war over all these stones, and there's no Mind Stone to even be had. So that means that, if anything, when this whole thing was resolved, I'm not sure if they're just going to be fighting forever, or if they just kind of pause them. But they, it's got to be. The Zola. It can't be Killmonger. Even if Killmonger would ever win that, he doesn't have the Mind Stone, and he still has to get that from them. So he's either got to convince Zola, which Zola would never agree to something like that. He'd rather destroy himself, or you give them all to Zola, and then Zola takes care of everything. So, and then again, this is the other question. Oh, sorry. You're probably gonna wrap it up, and then I'll get into this. So go ahead.
All right. So he wants to fix their lives, which who on earth, even in this short amount of time, would trust him? at this moment when he's like, "Yeah, we could use it to fix our lives." I'm like, "You'll fix yours and a bunch of other stuff."
Yeah.
But they don't agree. He tries to kill them, and then old stomach face battles for the stones, and Doctor Strange understands that they were to separate the stones from Ultron's body. That was the mission. You know what I mean? They can't really destroy that.
So
Uh,
so
Go
the
ahead.
Zola in the stomach is reminiscent from the comic books, straight from the comics.
Yes, I love that one too.
So with this and them creating the pocket dimension, it's not now it's not explained. So what happens? I mean, are they paused in this dimension? Are they? Is time going so slowly now that a second could be like eons? Because what I want to know is, all right, well, we're stuck in this dimension. Give all the stones to one person, because if that's the case, you saw Ultron punching through all the different dimensions. Wouldn't that one person be able to break through this dimension? I mean, I feel that this was sloppy writing here at the end to try and resolve things. Like, it kind of makes sense, but in the long run play out, that evil Doctor Strange is like, hey, look, there's another thing of power I could probably gobble down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I'm like, you're hiding the drugs with the addict.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's like he wants more power to eventually, he's got to be thinking he could fix his own situation at some point instead of saying, "Oh, I've got plenty of time." I was like, I don't believe it.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole ending wrap up is very weird.
Now the Watcher has okay, we already said that. The entire multiverse owes them a debt of gratitude, but they can't know. So Captain Carter wants to go back, but duty calls. He's like, "You're needed in the universe you're in." And then Black Widow spars with the Watcher because hers is just a cluster muck, and she wants him to fix her world, but no dice. So he's gonna put her in a world that lost their Black Widow. And when she wrecks Loki, and Fury instantly goes, "I know you're not our Natasha, but I have a feeling you have her soul or something or
Her
heart."
spirit. Her
Yeah.
spirit.
And I was like,
Dumb, lazy writing.
you have been on this planet for 5 seconds.
I mean, the only thing I got going on is that she knew exactly how to use the staff, and like took them out and was like, brainwash, and which I totally get, because they've seen it now through a lot, right? And so, but yeah, I was like, nobody else can do it. But here's what I don't understand. So Loki had that staff, which he gets the staff from Thanos, but he doesn't have Thanos' army there. He's attacking with Asgardians.
Right.
So then the Asgardians, and there's like humans going a mano a mano to like an Asgardian, and we already know the Asgardians are stronger than humans. So that whole like end scene there was wrong.
Way wrong.
Yeah.
Way wrong. And then lastly, we get Captain Carter back on the ship when she gets hit because she gets teleported right in mid-fight, which would be horrible. Oh my gosh. Somebody's like, "Hey, you want to do one of your boxing matches over? It starts now." I'd be like, "Man, no way. Don't do that to me." But Widow shows her the Hydra Stomper and someone's inside. So is he supposed to be brainwashed like Bucky was?
That's a good question, because Bucky was also put on ice, and in there it didn't look like he was put on ice. So I don't know. It is.
His armor looked a little newer, didn't it?
You know what? That's going to be a season 2. We're gonna they're going to have to explain that, but I don't, because that's the loose end what I thought was done. I didn't realize that. I mean, didn't he disappeared in that dimension, right?
I thought he stayed behind. She was the one that went through that
Oh, yeah.
door. So maybe he ended up getting captured by Hydra and then put on ice and rethawed every so many decades or something to kill people.
No idea.
I know.
But they're gonna have to, at least they've got a year or so to try and work out a better like plot detail for this and make it look. But think about this: she came back knowing that Hydra has infiltrated all of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she's now basically way ahead of Winter Soldier.
That is a good point. But remember in the movie, Fury made that mission on that carrier because he didn't trust the people he was working with.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get in information, extra information on the sneak by using the leaper. And I'm just like, okay, so maybe if she goes to him or something, he'll be like, I had a suspicion of this or something. I don't know. They'll probably
Yeah.
never pick it back up next season. But
Yep.
All right. Anything else before we get to before we get to our ratings?
Let me double check to make sure there wasn't anything that was missed. I do like the Watchers, like, oh, the doors there's a metaphor kind of thing, and then snaps, and then she's just in the world because I was like, yeah, what does she think she gonna do? I'm not gonna walk through the door. He's like, okay, whatever, boom, just disappeared. Now she's there, but yeah, it's everything was just all weird. I mean, but again, it's. What if it could be another universe where, in this case, the Asgardians are not as strong as this? It is possible they have stated as much. In fact, the um, director of the last episode has come forward, basically saying, "Yeah, which but to you is for you, thank Hank. You can thank them that they basically are saying that in this world." This Thanos doesn't have all of his stuff together. Like, he shows up and he's very nonchalant because he was able to walk and basically just get everything. He said there's probably hundreds of other worlds where he comes through that gate and he basically just crushes a Vision or Ultron, instantaneously, with not even messing around. It just so happened in this case, this Vision got the upper hand on him pretty quickly, but that's it. But we're talking, there could be so many different possibilities of how this could have turned out. We only looked at one.
Most certainly. Real quick before we get to our ratings for this episode, check out our What If parody t-shirt. And you can just head to tbnetwork.com, click the store button, or you can click the link in the description if you're checking this out on a podcast app. You just click the link in the description and check out our What If parody t-shirt. It is very funny, but it won't be available for very long. So get yours now. It is ratings time now, Mr. John. Who's going first?
Well, I've gone first the last couple times, so it's your turn.
He always says he goes first. All right. I did not like a lot of the elements of this episode. I wanted to because it's a season finale. Thank goodness it's not a series finale. But there's just too many problems for this episode for me. I will give it a gracious 7 out of 10.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it an 8. I thought I had lots of fun watching it, regardless of all the nitpicking that we can do. But I still had fun. It still made me laugh, and I still was like, "What about this?" And then they would do that, and I'm like, "Okay, never mind." And it hit all the buttons, but it also created issues that I had to address here. So, it wasn't for shows like this, and I have nothing to complain about. Well, or complain to, I guess I should say. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Okay, that's fair. And I want to do this. I want to do feedback either next week or the week after, if that's cool with you, John. Just because there's nothing going on until Hawkeye. And that's November 24th. So we're going to be doing this. And then also John and I will be doing House of the Dragon. It's a Game of Thrones prequel. And if you are listening to this right now, check and see if it's on your favorite podcast app, or you can head to tpnetwork.com/follow and you can go to House of the Dragon and find the RSS feed URL. But we're going to start doing shows for that next week as well. So get subscribed to House of the Dragon podcast, and then check us out next week or the week after on Mouse House Plus when we do some feedback then. So if you have more feedback or more things you want to say about the series, the season 1 anyway, just spill it in and we will talk about it on these weeks while we are off from having a show to recap. Anything else, Mr. John?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Although I got to pimp out my
Oh
new
yeah.
jacket here.
On hey YouTubers, check out John's amazing variant jacket that his wife made. I mean, it looks exactly like the jackets to me,
Yep.
I think. Let me put you full screen. That's
Hold on. Let me take the light down just a little bit. Oh, it's still doing it. There we go.
that is awesome.
And then
Love it. Variant. Could be a Halloween costume coming up, eh?
Well, I'm wearing it. I'm definitely wearing it out whenever the kids go trick or treating.
Nice.
Let everyone know that I may not necessarily be the correct John.
It's the other John. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, subscribe to the House of the Dragon podcast and also stay subscribed to Mouse House Plus. We'll be coming back with more episodes. We don't take time off. For John, I'm Hank. Until the next time, we're signing off.
Bye, everybody.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.